Hello everyone, it's Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. So, I want to throw the gauntlet down. I'm going to throw the gauntlet down. Let me check my sound first, make sure my sound is okay. Because when I throw the gauntlet down, I want my sound to be perfectly crisp so each and every person can hear the gauntlet being thrown down and hitting the ground and bounce. It is 11:43 on a Thursday. I need to make this relatively quick. I'm going to allow a few call-ins on this, however, just in case to take the temperature of what I'm saying. First, before I say anything, I want to thank all of my subscribers, people who watch my channel. I want to thank all of the people who listen to my videos, whether you like, dislike, as long as you give me the benefit of the doubt. Thank you very much. Beyond that, I want to thank the people who, I want to thank my patrons. I want to thank the people who offer super cash. All of you make the show what the show is. There are people who email me stuff and tweet stuff at me all the time, and I end up looking at and using a lot of that stuff. Even if I don't respond back each and every time, you guys are immensely appreciated. Thank you very much. A gentleman named HB sends me stuff. Jeff Kunz sends me stuff. Lo Owler. All sorts of people, just random people who oftentimes think that they're singular because they think to themselves, is this weird that I'm doing this? And I'm like, I don't get to respond all the time because I'm relatively busy, but thank you. Honestly, heartfelt, thank you. I'm perusing Twitter. I'm a creature of Twitter. I see this. My good man, HA. Trump is obviously going to run again and win easily in 2020. Michael Cohen dropping his lawsuit against BuzzFeed is a result of Mueller going after her for Stormy Daniels. Another non-issue. Actually, that is an issue. And it's an issue with the FBI in this case. That's problematic that you're going to attack Cohen in this. I actually agree with him on this. I know what he's saying. It's a non-issue from the standpoint of what he's going after Cohen on. I'm saying it is an issue with the fact that they're using the apparatus to attack somebody who's a lawyer of the Trump administration and may be doing so punitively. The FBI wasn't meant to be doing that. That's what I'm saying. It's somewhat problematic. I don't like it. BuzzFeed is 3 bankers and an entrepreneur suing it, and BuzzFeed suing the DNC. Wonder why. Wonder why indeed, HA. I'm not going to take issue with any of this part. Right here. Trump is obviously going to run again and win easily in 2020. I don't know about that, buddy. I don't know about that, buddy. I consider HA a friend of the show. So when I say this is, not a harsh thing, when I say this is not me punching another whatever he wants to call himself at this point, I mean it. I like HA. I've always liked HA. Even when I brought him on the show about the Israel stuff, I've always liked HA. I think I understand where he's coming from, and because I think I understand where he's coming from, I understand, I see what he's doing. I think some people misunderstand where HA is. I don't think that's the case. But in this case, I consider him a friend of the show, and consider him a friend of the show. That's what I'm saying. A friendly debate. I'm going to mark this shit in stone right now. Donald J. Trump will lose in 2020. If, with this caveat, he continues the way he is now. Let me show you something. I was about to do this story, but right here. Any information from the United States must be questioned. Le Pen doubts narrative around Syrian strikes. Do you know who Le Pen is? Le Pen is the French Donald Trump. She's the French Donald Trump. Le Pen almost won in France. All of these people jumped on Macron, who's supposed to be the socialist candidate. And I have no idea why they consider him a socialist candidate, seeing as he's been bashing labor. There's riots right now in France, labor riots, over the things that Macron is doing in that case. And let's call them strikes, over what Macron is doing in France. Now, Le Pen is saying anything that takes place around these strikes need to be questioned. The United States, what they say needs to be held with a certain amount of suspicion. Do you know who else used to say that? Donald Trump. Donald Trump. If you've seen his tweets have gone out with this thing of any action that's taken place needs to be approved through Congress. That's what Donald Trump said. Now, Donald Trump might have said that because he hated Obama, but whatever reason Donald Trump said it. Donald Trump said it, and what Donald Trump said in that tweet was right. That in no way stopped Donald Trump from taking strikes without getting congressional approval against the law. Both times he did those strikes. When he just did those strikes, and the prior time he did those strikes. And what's sad about it, in the prior time, when you ask Mathis, hey, what evidence do you have to justify those strikes in the previous time you did those strikes? Mathis will be as candid as can be and say, we have no evidence on this. Mattis, again, being slightly candid, when Tulsi Gabbard is questioning him in Congress, makes the point of it was complicated when Obama did those strikes, and Obama faced that same problem of illegality. It was illegal. Complicated was another word for illegal. Now, the point that I make to you is, in one issue after the next, Trump has failed miserably. Trump told everybody he was going to give them big, beautiful health care. He didn't do that. He tried to get rid of Obamacare with a shittier version of Obamacare. Now, the people supposedly hated Obamacare, but his thing that he ended up doing was trying to get a worse version of Obamacare, showing that he was more in line with the corporate interests that those people hated. He didn't give them health care. He didn't even get rid of Obamacare. That was a failure. Trump comes into office, I'm not going to benefit at all on the tax policy. In fact, I'm going to raise money on the millionaire, raise taxes on the millionaires. He didn't do that. He put $1 trillion on the back of the American public. And in addition to put $1 trillion back on the American public, he gave himself a magnificent tax cut. His likes a magnificent tax cut. In fact, he raised taxes on the people who were supposedly supporting him. They were potentially going to go after Social Security and Medicare next. And now, after everything else, on top of everything else, this demoralized bunch, that 30% that jumped ship from the Democratic Party and voted for Donald Trump, can't call them racist, they voted for Obama, can't call them sexist, they were, for the most part, in the Democratic Party. That demoralized bunch now had the indignity of seeing Donald Trump even go back on his word with this idea of regime change, putting out saying, yes, we will potentially open the door for more strikes. When the people who are supporting Trump, I would argue, are somewhat skeptical of what is taking place. Trump supporters, demoralized. Alex Jones coming out, flipping out. Is there anybody earnest in this world? He screams at the top of his lungs in the Alex Jones way. Fuck it, I'm not ready to go on. I'm not ready to go on. Don't tape me. Even though Alex Jones knew that he was being taped, but he did that because he was pissed off at Donald Trump attacking Syria. He goes on to say, they helped us fight the terrorists. They've been helping us fight the terrorists. The Russians, the Syrians, they've been fighting the terrorists. They've been fighting ISIS. And you're bombing the people who's been helping us do this. Demoralized. Demoralized. If this continues the way it is, if you look at the trend lines, it looks like Democrats are going to sweep or beat the shit out of Republicans coming up. And it's isolated to one main particular person, Donald Trump. Fact is, he's handled this politically horrifically. He's lost track of his base. He's put John Bolton in his political thing, meaning anybody who thought he was going to not be in this regime change business, that went away with the person that you hired, John Bolton. People are policy. If you're putting John Bolton in your administration, you're putting John Bolton, a fucking maniac, in your administration. His supporters are demoralized. Putting troops on the border is ridiculous. I understand it may play to his base, but all this other shit that I'm talking about is his base was in line with, and he completely undermined his base in one count after the next. Do you realize part of the Trump-Russia stuff was politically inclined to make him go in a particular way that he should have never went? When he said, I'm going to be conciliatory towards Russia, he should have stuck with that. He should not have wavered on that. And the fact is, they've made him repudiate his own message. Donald Trump may have been more hawkish on the Syria thing because of the attacks that they've been leveraging at him, meaning Cenk Uygur, everybody from CNN, MSNBC, and I don't necessarily watch Fox News, so I don't necessarily know what Fox News has been doing, but they've been hitting him on this point consistently. And because they've been hitting on him consistently, they've been modifying. He's had to modify himself into what he's wanting to do politically. Fair enough. That's made him a little bit more hawkish. At least I think so. And making him a little bit more hawkish, you've allowed the Democratic Party to have you to repudiate your base in regards to the policies that you've taken on. You've attacked Syria. You've gone for the regime change business. Whether you're doing it because you didn't feel like you had a choice, I don't know. But you've gone for the regime change business. The correct political calculus in this was to repudiate all of media and say, we don't know what took place in Syria. We have no idea what took place in Syria. There may have been a chemical attack. There may not have been. I'm waiting for the OPCW to see what takes place. That would have been the clear and straightforward way of dealing with that particular situation. The media has been against you from jump. Fuck them. That's your position. The media has been against you from jump. Fuck them. Make them prove that something is taking place. Make them do their jobs. Go after the media. Headlong after the media. Go beyond saying that it's fake news. Bash the media over and over and over again for their failings and the things that they miss. If they want to make you attack Syria, go after them for trying to make you attack Syria. That's how you deal with this. They hate your guts already. They hate your guts already. Don't play into their narrative of events, especially when their narrative of events goes against your base. I would make the point that if Donald Trump continues the way that Donald Trump is going, Donald Trump is going to lose in 2020. And I welcome HA to a friendly political fisticuffs to defend this very first part. Trump is obviously going to run again and win easily in 2020. On guard, sir. On guard, sir. I probably should have spent my heads up on this. And again, man, this is purely held in the best light. Held in the best light, completely in the best light. I love his content. Or at the very least, I like HA. Sometimes his content goes in ways that I can't necessarily follow, but him, I think he's earnest. And I think he's taken a position because he has a reason, very specific reason for taking a disposition that he's taken. So I welcome him onto the show. Come get it, sir. Come get it. Oh, hold your point. All right, so I'm going to end this. Not going to keep this one long. This is just a friendly on guard. He's free to take or free to decline. A decline does not necessarily mean he's running scared or running chicken or head between legs or anything else. It just means friendly decline. But it's a friendly offer, so I will end that here. I'm not going to keep this one long. All right, guys. If you enjoy the content, please feel free to share, like, subscribe, and of course, you can always support through Patreon. And honestly, I hope he takes me up on it. I would love to have a conversation with HA on this one. So, just a friendly offer. Let's say it that way. All right, guys. Have a good one.